I started my first YouTube channel 4 years ago, and in that time I've grown multiple channels to over 100,000 subscribers, and even on this channel we grew from 0 to 10,000 in only 3 months. I've helped well over 100 people get their first 1,000 subscribers, and even helped a few grow to 100,000 only a few months after starting. I had a smooth journey overall, but when I look back I know there could have been a few things I did better. And that's exactly what I'm gonna break down in this video. And I get that question a lot: how would you learn YouTube if you started over? And these questions usually come from people who are just starting or trying to pursue YouTube as their full-time career, and they want to start at the beginning. If you go on YouTube and look up how to grow on YouTube, it will come up with a lot of things like editing, titles, thumbnails, SEO, tags, descriptions, scripting, and this is just the beginning. There is short-form content, tonality training, filming setups, and I don't know, people even come up with their own terminology like retention editing, outlier research, and so much more. So it's no surprise that people are overwhelmed and they don't know where to start. And that's why I've broken down YouTube in 9 different steps. The first step is just having the right mindset. You need to avoid all of those flashy YouTube videos if you want to get to this. You'll see these on your feed everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Like, when I first started, I was watching these videos left and right, spending hours and hours of my day learning about all these little things on YouTube that didn't actually matter. And that's the exact reason why when I first started 4 years ago, it took me a year to get my first 1,000 subscribers. And I posted 52 videos in that year. But now I'm able to blow up new channels just like this one in a matter of only 30 days. Think about that. It took me 12 times as long to achieve the same thing just because I spent so much of my time consuming these videos. And the reason why this happens is just because of analysis paralysis. You end up consuming so much information that at the end of the day, you don't have as much time to put into your own videos. Like, you spend all of this time worrying about the things that don't matter, like descriptions, tags. All those things are so insignificant compared to your actual videos themselves. The only research I would recommend you do before you start making YouTube videos is like around 1 week, just learning the basic YouTube terminology and how the platform works. So learn what a thumbnail is, learn what a title is, learn how to do a basic video edit. You need to understand that YouTube is a long game and you'll naturally learn a lot more of these complicated things along the way. So instead of trying to learn it all at the beginning, just learn the absolute basics and start making content, because that's really what's going to get you going, and you're gonna learn so much faster than if you spent tons of hours researching before you even make one video. You also just need to understand that YouTube takes time. Most YouTube channels look like this. Boom. And then all of a sudden they blow up. There will be so many times like here, 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 where you get so frustrated. You have a video that you thought was amazing, that you put tons and tons of hours in, that gets almost no views. And this can be really disheartening, but you have to remember that it's just part of the process. What you'll also have is times where you're absolutely on top of the world. So let's say you have a video spike right here, and then you're like, oh, I'm finally gonna blow up. And then that video dies. And then you're back to exactly where you started. Those are some of the highs and lows that you're going to experience along this journey. And it can be really tough to push past that. And you know, that's why probably 95% of new YouTubers quit within their first year. All right, so once you've done that, we move on to step 2. Step 2 is simply just creating your videos. The biggest part of YouTube is simply creating videos. And it does not matter in the beginning how good your videos are, as long as you're consistently creating. So let's say you just don't have any videos that hit. This is exactly what happened to me, and this is what happens to most people when they first start. Their videos are just bad. I mean, look at this video by me. The important thing is that you are consistently creating, because this is exactly how you're going to learn and improve over time. And my challenge to you is, after you've done that initial research stage, go ahead and just make your first video. Spend a week on research, then spend an hour making your first video. Don't overcomplicate it. It doesn't take that long. For some people it could take an hour, for some people it could take 3 to 4 days. But I would recommend even staying on the shorter side in the beginning. Maybe spend like 1 or 2 hours making your video and just upload something. Film it with your phone and your camera. Try to set up something where your face is well lit, and then download a basic editing software that's completely free, like iMovie or CapCut, or any of the other editing softwares out there. Next thing you're going to do is simply A-cut the video. So basically it's just one of your videos smoothly going from beginning to end. You cut your videos, cut out all the times you mess up, and then it just creates one very smooth video for people to watch. You don't need to add any crazy B-roll, sound effects, or music. You just need to get a basic A cutout, make a raw style thumbnail that looks like this, and then simply add some sort of text on it as well. This will already get you ahead of like 95% of people because again, most people don't ever end up posting their first video. This way you can bite the bullet, get that first one out there, get yourself into the algorithm, and make people on YouTube start to see you. So the next step is to avoid the noise. And there is a lot of noise on YouTube. You do not need to worry about tags. They are the biggest myth on YouTube. Most people think that tags matter a ton when it comes to their reach. Tags are not gonna get you more than an extra couple hundred views, really ever. And the time you spend creating tags is going to be much better spent on other things like the thumbnails, like the titles, and also like the ideas. Another thing that I see a lot of beginners mess up on is that they use AI. So they are using AI titles. They're using AI titles. They get them from places like vidIQ. vidIQ is a great platform, but their AI titles are absolute dog shit. These titles will not perform. They are generated by a machine, not by a human, and the machine does not generate them that well. So until they get to the point where they are good, anyone can make an AI title and therefore it doesn't really stand out. The goal with your title should be to stand out, and when it comes from AI, it just doesn't. So I can instantly tell once someone has a title from vidIQ, and those videos almost never perform. You also do not need to worry about descriptions. This is a description. This does not matter at all. Simply put one line about what the video is about, and that is good enough. You do not need to worry about anything crazy. You don't need any special framework for descriptions. Just do a line about what the video is about, and that's it. No SEO, nothing like that. And that actually is another huge YouTube mistake, is people focus on SEO. But we do not want to focus on that. The majority of YouTube views come in from browse. There are a few channels that really target SEO, but even in the education space, if you're making videos about, how to make money or how to cook something, right? Those views are not going to come from SEO. It's very rare that a channel is an SEO channel, and it's much harder to do than just going for browse views. So your goal should just be to capture people's attention. That should be the #1 goal, not to optimize for SEO. Another thing that you should not focus on is the settings. So let's make like a settings gear. You do not need to worry about your YouTube settings. YouTube settings do not matter that much. There's a video that got like 2 million views teaching you how to optimize your YouTube settings. And that's exactly what I mean. Those videos that are just complete noise and don't really make a difference on your videos or your channel are the thing that's holding a lot of people back. So just avoid the noise. You do not need any of this stuff. Focus on making better videos, focus on making better titles and thumbnails and ideas. And that brings us on to the thing that you should focus on, which is YouTube packaging. Why is this the most important thing on YouTube? Because this is what people see before they even click on your video. So if this is not good, a viewer sees your video, let's say this is your video, and they decide not to click, then it does not matter how good your video is. Your video could be bad or good, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be seen. So if you can turn this into this and have them actually watch your video, then you're gonna get more views. It's crazy how that works. So how do you make this good? What I want you to focus on is simple titles and thumbnails. And this is the thing that so many beginners get wrong, is that they make it very complicated. They normally have a lot of stuff on their thumbnails, but it should be very simple. There's something called the 3-element rule. You should have at maximum 3 elements in your thumbnail. So let's do that right now. Let's say you have a thumbnail of you reviewing an iPhone. It should be the iPhone, and then it should be an arrow, and then it should say something like damaged right at the top. This is a video titled, "The New iPhone is Not What You Think." This is a great simple thumbnail. As you can see, there's nothing down here, nothing down here. It's very plain, very simple, but I can guarantee you this is exactly what works on YouTube, because you need someone to understand what your video is about. This also creates an open loop in the viewer's mind, which is a little bit more complicated, but that's basically creates curiosity, which makes them more likely to click. You could also do a person. So we could have a video that is titled, "Why Therapy is Failing You." And then we could have a person and then an arrow pointing to that person saying, damaged. Now that's a completely separate video, but overall the same thumbnail concept. And you can use stuff like this, study a bunch of different thumbnails, see what they're doing, make sure that they have just 3 elements, so person, arrow, text, and that will get you way farther than almost anything else on YouTube. What you also want to do is learn core desires. So what are core desires? That is essentially what your viewer, let's say that this is your viewer, what do they desire? Let's say this person desires money, right? So go here, money. This person desires money, but what do they also desire? This person also desires reproduction. So we could put a woman here. Now, this person probably also desires status. Now what we do in our ideas, our titles and thumbnails, take these desires and then think about how can we create a title, thumbnail, or idea that really hits on one of these desires and really gives the person value on one of these things, right? So let's say we could make a video about how to make your first $1 million in 2024. That is a video related to money, right? Or you could be like, how to unlock insane confidence on command. Boom, status, right? Or we could make a video titled how to actually find a girlfriend. Reproduction, right? There's a ton of different base desires that you could have. Someone could want to build a family. You could have someone who wants to learn how to cook. You could have someone who wants to learn how to drive a car, right? Or get really good at drifting, something like that. Now that is going to be the base desires. So really think about who your ideal viewer is, think about their base desires, and then come up with video ideas and concept based off of that. The next thing that you are going to need to learn is scripting. So once you understand how to package your videos, you need to learn how to script. And the reason for this is because once you master the art of getting someone to click on your video, you need to make sure that they stay. So you want your retention graph to look like this, where it looks like this. That is a good retention graph right there. But most people's retention graphs look like this, which is not a good retention graph. This one is going to retain much more people and get you much more views than this retention graph, because as you can see, probably around 70% of people are staying on this one, whereas 15% are staying on this one. So YouTube is going to see that difference. They're gonna be like, okay, the video that's getting 70% retention is probably a much better video than the video getting 15%. And the biggest way to do that is through your scripts. So how do you do this? What you're going to do is learn open loops and payoffs. Open loops are essentially just raising a question. So you're going to open a question and then you're gonna basically leave it open for a little bit, just because when someone has a question open in their mind, they are going to think, okay, I want this question answered. And it's going to feel unsatisfying for them if they don't get that question answered. So the longer that you can leave that question unanswered without having it be too long to where it's annoying, the longer that they will stay on the video because they are waiting to get the answer. And then once they get the answer, which is called a payoff, that is essentially an answer, that is going to give them a hit of dopamine because they are going to have the answer to their question. And then once they have the answer to their question, they feel whole, they feel complete, and they feel really, really good. So it's your job, after to give them the payoff, open up another loop. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a screenshot of my full scripting template right here. You can see how I use open loops and payoffs. I use them pretty much the entire video. So that is a very important part of your video, and if you master that, I can guarantee you, you will never have a problem getting views ever again. Now the next thing that you need to learn is learning how to edit videos. And this is one of the core skills that allowed me to really blow up my content and make it super engaging for people to watch. This is one of the most important skills. It just adds the flair to your content that makes it unique. It allows you to tell better stories, which at the end of the day is why people are on the platform. So the thing that you're going to start learning is very simple cuts. So let's say you have a clip here, boom. This is a clip of you, right? So you have you, and then you go and are still here, right? So that is a clip of you. Let's say that in the middle there is a mess up, boom. You mess up, you say something wrong, like I could say something wrong right now, like, Andrew, cut this out of the video. Now my editor will leave that in because I told them to, but normally that would be cut out, right? If you have a part that you mess up, you can just cut that out. Cut it, and now you have these two clips. So now you have here, and you have here. And then it just flows very smoothly, no mess ups, very clean. That is the basics of editing. Now, some things that you're really going to want to learn here are eye level cuts, where you cut at the same level on the eyes. You're also going to want to learn how to do zooms. So you want to learn how to like zoom in, and then you also want to learn how to do zoom outs. You You want to learn how to do punch-ins. You also need to learn how to do text. So you want to have text in the video. Let's say that you have someone talking. Let's say like there's two people talking. You want to have subtitles down here. You have to learn how to add that. You're also going to need to learn how to add B-roll, which is basically footage on top of other footage. So let's say you have this footage here, and then you add another clip on top of it, right? So we add a clip of a river over me talking, and we could just have that be a piece of B-roll. Like for example, this is a piece of B-roll right now. The next thing that you need to add is music. So you can add music under here. That is going to give more energy, more feeling to your video, really create an emotion for the viewer. And that is one of the most powerful things on YouTube that you really need to focus on. The next thing that you really need is SFX. So let's say I have a pop-up, right? Let's say I have a pop-up where there is a piece of text that comes up, and I want to add a sound effects for that. So what I would do is I would just add a sound effect under there, a little sound effect, and that really brings the channel to life. That brings the videos to life. It really makes the videos much more engaging, much more alive, and it just allows the viewer to be drawn in so much more because you're sucking them into your world. So what comes after editing is ideation, and this is super, super important. This is honestly the thing that I spend the most time on my own YouTube channel right now. I probably spend an hour every single day. I don't record every single day, I don't edit every single day, I don't script every single day, but I always do ideation, and I do that every single day. And now what that is essentially coming up with ideas for your YouTube channel. So let's say we have an idea, how to grow on YouTube. Now we have another idea, which could be how to monetize. Then we have another idea, which could be like how to learn. That's exactly what this video is about right now, right? So you are going to come up with a bunch of ideas every single day. I would recommend you do 30 minutes to an hour every single day. That's the practice that I've seen the most successful YouTubers do. And it's something that they all have in common that a lot of beginners ignore. They come up with a video idea and they think, oh, this is a great idea, let me make a video about it. But that's actually the wrong way to go about it. I probably make one video for every 100 ideas I have. Now that may sound crazy, but I literally come up with 100 ideas for one video. And that's the same thing that Mr. Beast does. Mr. Beast probably does 1,000. He probably comes up with 1,000 to 10,000 ideas per video he makes. Now what you're going to need to learn in this is outlier research. So looking and trying to find videos that have done way better than other videos on a channel. So let's say on average that channel gets 10,000 views. So you have 10K, 10K, and then they have one video that gets 1 million. You are going to want to take that idea that has 1 million views and then make that your own. That's how I come up with video ideas, and it is one of the best ways to do it. You're also going to want to look at other niches outside of your own. So let's say you are in the cooking niche. You are going to want to look outside of the cooking niche. You're going to want to look in baking. You are going to want to look even in running. So someone who has a running channel, you could take ideas from that. Now let's say they made a video titled, I tried Nike running shoes for 100 days. You could take that concept and bring it back to cooking. You could say, I tried baking a cake for 100 days. Here were the results. So you can look at other niches, take really good ideas that they have, and then bring them back to your niche where they've never been done before. The next thing that you're going to need to master if you want to be successful on YouTube is filming your videos. So if you notice, all of the best YouTubers are very good on camera, and there's a very good reason for that. Because when someone watches someone, let's say you have a viewer and they are watching someone, if that person is not confident, let's say they're not feeling good on camera, this feeling is going to translate back to that viewer. Now, that's not good. You don't want the other person who's watching your video to feel the awkwardness coming across. You want to create a happy emotion. You want to create a good viewing experience where you are inflecting on your words, really increasing your tonality and hitting on the words that need to be hit on, and just feeling comfortable on camera in general. So then you create a happy emotion that goes back to the viewer and then makes them feel good about watching, which means that they want to watch more. Now, the things that you're going to need to learn in this are learning how to build comfort on camera. I would recommend doing a 30-day challenge where you record yourself every day for 10 minutes. Go ahead and watch the footage back, take notes on what you think you could improve next time, and then just over the span of 30 days, do that. And just improve every single day. And at the end of it, you're going to be way better than you are now. The next thing that you're going to need to learn is tonality. So learning how to basically bring your voice up, bring it down, bring up, bring down, bring up, bring down, bring up. And that is going to allow you to create some really, really emphasize things that you are going to say, and it is going to absolutely help you blow up your channel. So you can see I just did that on a couple words, right? And you can take that the other way too. You could bring it down. You know, growing on YouTube is really, really tough. And then you could bring it back up. But you know, if you understand this one thing, it really doesn't have to be that hard. And it's actually not as bad as you might think. And the last and one of the most important things is analytics. You need to learn YouTube analytics. Now, this should be learned after you have posted videos, after you probably had 5 to 10 videos go live, but you need to understand CTR. You need to understand how to identify the baseline CTR for your channel, because CTR is relative on different channels, meaning it could be up or down. Like for example, on my channel, my baseline CTR is around 5%. If I have a video that does above 5% CTR over the span of like a week, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. But for a channel like Mr. Beast or an entertainment channel, their average CTR is probably 10 to 15%. And if they get below 10%, that's not good. Whereas some channels, like more podcast channels, those are going to have like a 1% CTR. YouTube compares your CTR to everyone else in your niche. So your cooking video is not competing with Mr. Beast's video. Your cooking video is competing against all of the other cooking videos and seeing which ones has the best CTR. You also need to understand audience retention. So understanding your retention graph, like what this drop off is, how this happens, that is a wonky retention graph. You need to understand that this is a good intro. You need to understand that right here, this, you did something wrong. You definitely need to fix something here, fix here. And you need to understand right here, you did something right. So, did something right, then right here, you did something wrong. You need to be able to look at your retention graph and then look at what happened, learn from it, and implement that into your future videos. That's how you get exponentially better over time. That's how you exponentially improve your videos, which will allow you to get way more views over time and have your channel go from this to this. And the best part is about all of this is that all of these things I teach you completely for free in my free 12-hour YouTube course. So I made a completely free course that you can literally learn all of this stuff in. Every single thing that we just talked about, I go over in that course. I teach you how to do it from the beginning to the advanced stages and essentially teach you everything that you need to know in an exact step-by-step roadmap on how you can go from 0 to 100,000 subscribers in the next 12 to 24 months. So check out this video right here where I show you how to get access, what you're gonna learn inside, and how you can use it to absolutely blow up your YouTube channel. And the biggest YouTube secret of all, don't give up. Thanks and have a great day.